All right, I think we're live actually for real this time. We had a problem with the previous link because as soon as I hit go live, I don't know why these assholes didn't tell me before I started the show, but as service told me you need to upgrade your plan because you're out of storage and we can't post a replay for the show. So I'm like, what? So if you just saw it, we literally, before we came on here, we had a 6-second long episode that was just me saying, oh shit, and then stopping it and restarting it. But this should be a fun episode. We're already off to a fantastic start, as you can see. It is another episode of the Calcio Connection podcast. We are connecting with you, Italian football fans from over the world, even though both of these clubs still have a game to play before they play each other.
This time, not Batcave, but your internet's like William's internet, like last night, eh? Like
mine?
Yeah, like do you have some of his connection right now? Because sometimes kind of what's going on here, man?
I was having a problem with it earlier today.
What is going on?
It's bad still?
You'll cut in and out. It happens. What are you gonna do? Derby. You know what, man? I don't know what to expect for Sunday's Derby. I'm looking forward to what Steve and Karlo have to say, but it feels like a different Derby this year. I don't know. It just doesn't. It feels different for me, and I think it's because Inzaghi's not there. Caicedo's not there. Correa's not there. A lot of significant players, and especially I think the biggest loss other than Inzaghi is Lulic. And Lulic is like he's the heart and soul of derbies because he understands what it means and what it represents like to play those kind of games. And when I look at Roma, that's what I kind of seen Roma last season, where they were lacking that fight where you had those the Rossi's and Totti's who understood what the derby was all about and what you had to do to win them. So I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say throughout the show in regards to the derby. Oh no, Alex freezed.
He's frozen.
Yeah, so I'll jump in then, Jared, because I agree. I think it feels like a different derby. But for me, it's not because of who's not there anymore. I think from a Lazio standpoint, you could say that. But I think for Roma, it's who is there. I think it's because Mourinho's arrived, and I think he's brought a new energy and like a new optimism to the club. You know, Roma's off to a great start. Yeah, they lost on Sunday, and we'll see what happens against Udinese tomorrow. But I this is the most excited I've been for a derby in a couple seasons now. You know, Roma won the second derby last season, but it was like the second to last match. Not much to play for either side. So it didn't feel like a derby win like some of the other ones in the past. So I'm expecting an exciting match on Sunday, especially because both teams have been scoring a lot lately and conceding a lot. So it could make for like a goal fest.
By the way, I appreciate you guys. I'm sure you covered me for a few seconds there, Jerry, because I switched to my backup internet, 5G enabled. So we'll see. We'll see if this holds up better than the main Wi-Fi. I'm on 5G now, bitches. We're here. So and you guys see, of course, Steve Sciavillo down there who does a fantastic job. Also want to introduce first-time guest with us here on the Calcio Connection, Karlo. He's from the 6. That's why he's got the AS Roma with the 6 there from Toronto. Welcome to the show, my friend. He's a big Roma supporter as well. How are you?
Thank you, man. I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
Are you a Leaf fan as well?
Am I a Leaf fan? I'm like a casual hockey guy. Like I'm so casual. Yeah, I'm not a diehard Leaf fan. Don't worry.
Just football then, European football, and that's it.
Football, basketball.
Oh, okay. Raptors pass. Okay, you're in the good books. That's good. Okay, Raptors are good. Okay, Leafs are shit. Leafs are shit. But anyways, they're just as bad as the Roma.
Oh, shots fired early. Shots fired early. We'll see. Wow. We'll see, man. Sunday, it'll be very interesting. But I think both teams can't look too far ahead till Sunday. They got 2 teams tomorrow. I think Udinese are going to be a desperate team after getting killed by Napoli. And I think Torino is going to be a dangerous team, man. So, yeah, I know we're talking Sunday, but we got to take care of business tomorrow for sure.
Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
Well, no, I was just gonna say I wanted to start there. Like before we really dive into the derby this weekend, I wanted to get because Lazio and Roma both play tomorrow. Thursday game. So, and Karlo, I'll start with you on this one. You talked about Udinese coming in as a desperate team. They got shellacked 4-0 by Napoli last weekend. They did have a pretty good start to the season, including taking a point from Juventus in match day 1. So what's your expectation for that match tomorrow? How do you expect Roma to line up? And do you think Roma is going to bounce back after their own defeat last weekend?
God, I hope so. I think they need to, really impose themselves. I thought these slow starts last 3 games. I don't want to say it was a lack of trying. I don't think guys are not trying because, if they're not trying, they're not playing under Mourinho for sure. But there's got to be something different. We gotta control the game. We got to take it to teams like a Udinese. We got to take it to these teams. I don't know how it's gonna go. I'm very curious. I hope we come back. Mourinho said something. We got to stay focused. So just like I said, we can't look forward to Sunday. We got to forget about last Sunday. You know what I mean? It's all about tomorrow's matchup. We got to get 3 points, hopefully, and then we'll see what happens from then on.
What about you, Steve? What's your expectation for Udinese tomorrow?
Yeah, I think Mourinho will have them, coming out with the right mentality. Sunday was a tough match, tough weather, physical Hellas team, which gave Roma some issues. Mourinho was asked some questions about that in his press conference, because people talk about the lack of a defensive midfielder and how that hurt Roma on Sunday because they really got kind of bullied around a little bit. And Udinese will be tough because last year Udinese really gave Roma a hard time. It took a real late goal the first time they played for Roma to win. I think the second time, if I remember correctly, Roma took care of business at home a little more easily. But they're a team that likes to defend. So, they gave Juve some issues, not so much Napoli. We'll see. I think they will be desperate, like Carlos said, to bounce back because they got shellacked, like you said. And they're not going to want to get steamrolled again by another big side after, starting the year halfway decent, with the result against Juve. So, but I expect Roma to come out. I expect them to be fired up and hungry. And I don't think Mourinho will have Roma looking ahead to Sunday at all. I think they'll be squarely focused on tomorrow. I expect Mourinho to play pretty much whatever his best 11 is right now, because as we've seen so far, he's not a guy who's thinking, okay, we play in 3 days in the Derby, we're going to turn over half our roster tomorrow. He's looking at it. We need to win tomorrow. We need to build continuity. And the only match he's really done a lot of turnover was the Conference League because he could afford to do that against CSKA Sofia. This match, he's not going to do it. He's going to come out. The only real absence is Vigna right now. He's still out at left back. So Calafiori will start again. But I did our probable formations for our site just a couple hours ago. And from all indications I've been reading on Gazzetta and all the other sources I use, it's looking like full steam ahead with, pretty much the preferred 11.
Nice. And before I get Jerry's thoughts on his match tomorrow, I want to pull both you guys and Steve, I'll start with you. What's it been like covering Mourinho so far? And what have you made of the football he has Roma playing? Because obviously prior to the LS game, you guys were really flying.
Yeah, Mourinho has brought a new level of excitement to the club. When he was hired, to me, I've said it on other podcasts and our own, it was a statement hire from the Friedkins. They've owned Roma now for about a year. They took over a little bit into last season when they finally got the official takeover. And, Fonseca was probably always out the door, but Sadi was the guy that was linked to Roma a lot. And he ended up at Lazio because Mourinho became available. And I think once he was available, they just called him up and told him about their project. They got him on board. I think he was looking for a new lease on life outside of England because he kind of wore his welcome a lot in the Premier League. And I think, he's really embraced the role, which is great because he sees it as a project too. He's on a 3-year contract, and he's the guy who's got a reputation for wearing out his welcome quickly. He's there for 2 seasons or whatever, and he kind of burns out, or even less at the Tottenham spell. Inter was 2 years; they won both years, but then he moved on to Real Madrid. And I think he realizes in these press conferences when you listen to him talk, he's like, it's been 6 matches or it's been 5 matches, not 50. I'm here for 3 years. You guys are talking about the Mercato. He said to the journalist today, you're talking about the winter already. And, they asked him if he could solve some kind of issue with the team. He's like, if I could solve the issue in 3 months, I'd be on a 3-month contract, not a 3-year contract. So I think he's looking at it through the perspective of he's settled here for now. He's not looking as a jumping off point to go back to another bigger club. And I hope that is true, because I think if he continues to manage his team and build up them from the mental side, which we've kind of seen so far, where when they get punched in the gut or punched in the mouth by a goal from another team, they respond quickly. Against Sassuolo, they responded very quickly to giving up a goal, went down and almost scored within 2 minutes. They did the same thing on Sunday against Hellas, where they don't just kind of put their tail between their legs and back down. They go right back down the pitch if they give up a goal. And that's encouraging to me because the Fonseca sides weren't doing that. Even under EDF toward the end, they weren't doing that, So that, to me, is the big thing that he's brought to the club. And they're a lot more offensive than I expected. I didn't expect so much offense from them under Mourinho. And I think he's really utilizing the tools that have been provided to him and where the strengths lie. And he's, okay, I guess. He never wants to give up goals, but I think right now he's okay winning a match 3-2 if that's what it takes, and not sticking with his reputation of like a 1-0 manager because he knows the roster's not built for that right now.
What about you, Karlo? Your impressions on Mourinho so far?
I think he's said all the right things. I think he's approached everything the right way. I think us as Roma fans, I'm guilty of this as well. We win a couple games and everyone, starts screaming and hollering. And listen, it is a long process. I like he said, I'm impressed with the way that we're playing. We're not playing typical Mourinho defending. Like you said, I don't think we have the team for that. But I think everything's been good. I think also Thiago Pinto has done a great job over the summer, getting what he could, getting some dead weight. And the Friedkins have just been showing their ambition. So I think from top to bottom, this club is going in the right direction. I just think we need to pump the brakes a little bit. But yeah, like I said, game by game, Mourinho's got to get these guys motivated. I don't think, a lack of effort will happen game by game like it was under Fonseca. These guys are going to play hard every single game, which I love. Hey, if we lose and we play hard, and it just doesn't go our way, I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. I just can't stand when we lose and you can tell guys have their heads down and stuff. Guys look confident. Pellegrini as a captain looks confident. Mourinho is instilling that in them. Guys like Mancini, Cristante, Pellegrini, once again. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he does with Zaniolo when he's ready, because obviously it's going to take him some time. But yeah, I'm loving it so far. I can't lie.
Yeah, and something you guys are both spot on, and especially Steve mentioned something about how much attacking football they're playing. I wasn't expecting that either. I mean, because usually Jose is just so methodical, and his sides are low scoring but not giving up much. But he's adapted to the needs, because if the team's going to ship goals, they better score a lot of goals. Let me bring on Jerry. Jerry, before we get into the nitty gritty of Torino Lazio tomorrow, tell me what's going on with Mattia Zaccagni. I saw he has a thigh injury. He's not going to play tomorrow. How long do you expect him to be out?
Yeah, I had to wake up and know that Akpro costs around $13 million. And people don't understand what that means, is that he was purchased when he was on Salernitana. And because they had to transfer him over to Lazio, I think last season they transferred it on loan. And then they made it official. I think that the books show that he's been purchased for nearly $13 million. My God, I will. $40 million combined for him, Morici, and Fades is a disaster. That's all I can say. It's really crazy. But Mattia Zaccagni is out tomorrow. He is going to be out Sunday. I don't know how this injury even occurred, because he played the whole most of the second half. Massive loss. I think the player who benefits the most out of this is Raul Maro, 18-year-old kid who has looked really good in his 3 appearances. Seems like you would think he's playing like a 25-year-old, confident, not scared to take on people. Good speed, good movement, good dribbling. I think that he will come off the bench. You're going to see Pedro start alongside Immobile and Anderson. I prefer to start Morici tomorrow. I think that Immobile needs a break, but
fair enough.
But
you want to get him ready for the derby.
It's not going to happen, and I'll give you a major reason why he will play tomorrow is because the last time Torino played Lazio, Cairo had some nasty comments to say towards Immobile in regards to the COVID scandal and everything that happened when they beat them 4-3 at the Olimpico Torino. So basically, I think that in the back of Immobile's head, he wants to play this game for personal reasons as well, and he really wants to stick it to him. I'm a firm believer about that, especially when an owner or president is calling you out and your name is being destroyed because of someone who doesn't have firm results. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're accusing a player and it doesn't look good on Immobile, so that you know that whole relationship is really bad. So I expect Immobile to come like flying out tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. Again, we'll see how they manage it. And there's no Sarri tomorrow as well. That's another factor. So we'll see how they come out with the lineup, who they project to start, who they want to bench. But I'm going to go with, in the midfield, it's going to be Savic, Alberto, and I would like to see Cataldi start tomorrow, not Leyva. But it's going to probably be Leyva, which is kind of insane because he can't play 3 games in a week. He just doesn't have the form anymore to do that. It's not on him. It comes with age for certain players. And in the back, apparently Patrick might be starting tomorrow with a Cherby, with Husai and Lazzari playing on the outside. So we'll see how this basically plays out. But like Sarri said, he doesn't want to make too many changes, and I don't blame him because, like Mourinho's probably the same way, you need that continuity where they kind of like build together and kind of get to know each other. And if you start making 8 substitutes early in the season, then you're just going to have a lot of mishmash and a lot of inconsistency after. So I see probably 3 to 4 changes max tomorrow. And the last one is I would start Tricoscia because Peperina is so overrated. I don't even know how he won that award. I don't know.
I don't understand it either. And obviously Strakosha had that awful error in the in the Europa League game, but you know, you can't expect something like that to happen often. It was what it was. It was terrible, but I think he deserves to play more.
No, he played good that game. It's unfortunate that people are harping on him for one mistake. Like, and I saw a video where Roma actually had a similar instance back in 2017 or 2016. I don't know who it was, but it was on my timeline. I was like, oh wow, it's like it happens to everybody, man. Like, it is what it is. That's probably why Roma fans probably didn't even banter Strakosha, because they had a similar instance as well. So it's like, how do you banter someone when it happened to your own club? It's happened to everybody. It happened to, what's his name? The guy on Liverpool. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure something happened to Allison too one time last season, where he made a massive mistake where it cost him.
I remember that actually.
He did
like,
something.
I thought this guy was the best keeper. He sucks now. What's going on?
Yeah, I think he scored in his own net or something. I forgot who it was. I think it was against Man City. And he made a mistake and it cost him the victory or something like that. But yeah, it happens, man. Like, what are you gonna do? As much as I want to see the classic Jerry Middlefinger, I think Roma wins this one. I don't know who's gonna win it personally, but we'll talk about that after.
Well, you're gonna have to make a prediction later, so you better figure it out, boy. But
sure.
and before we get to that, Jerry, give me your prediction for Torino Lazio tomorrow. How do you think this game finishes?
Oh man, okay. So Lazio's winless in 3 games across both competition. It's kind of scary because there's good and bad to Lazio. You got the good where they show that. Here's the thing. I'm gonna go off topic here for a second. It drives me nuts how when you're the home team, you gain possession, you hold possession, you attack, and the visitors basically like play as a counter. You go on the road and it's like it's a day and night. And like tomorrow, I don't even think Lazio's gonna hold possession. Okay, they're just gonna play off the counter attack. I don't know why they can't play like they do in their own stadium. Like, go out into another stadium and keep playing your game. Don't sit back like Inter yesterday against Fiorentina. Same thing, man. They sit back as the visitor. They go away. It drives me nuts. Like, play attack, man. Like, play to your game. Play to your strengths. And so for that reason, I'm a little concerned tomorrow because I don't know what the mindset's going to be like for this team, especially that they should have won on Sunday based on how they played. They played very good. It's probably one of the best match they've played since probably Spezia. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Lazio win tomorrow, only because I think that, like I said earlier, Ciro Immobile is going to really want to win this match for personal reasons, and they need the win. I don't know. Like this team's so unpredictable. Like last year, I knew what to expect from Lazio under Inzaghi. You knew what you're gonna get.
Yeah, because he'd been there for so long.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know if there's gonna be any progress tomorrow. Do they get frustrated and they can't make those passes and everything's like when I watched that Milan game, both their mistakes are trying to make sorry ball happen, and it results in a counterattack. Everyone's all high up, and when you go onto the counterattack, it's like, oh, you never responded to me on WhatsApp, man. You didn't tell me if you're gonna come or not. Like this guy, where's my invite? Put that tongue back. Anyways,
we'll get him on for the next Napoli episode.
But what happens is they go on the counterattack and they score on both goals. But you responded. I didn't check my WhatsApp.
Wait, what just happened here? You just said you never responded to my WhatsApp.
No, he didn't. I haven't been on
my
my WhatsApp for an hour. I checked since like 8:30. Since the last time I told you about that little that message I sent you. But yeah. But okay, Johnny, stop. But anyways, that's how Roma's gonna beat them on Sunday. They're gonna kill them on the counterattack. Like literally, they're gonna play high, they're gonna hold possession, they're gonna try to make pass, and you're gonna see Pellegrini, he's gonna really come on and attack. It's gonna cause a turnover, it's gonna cause a counterattack. Our stupid defense likes to play high up. Lazio likes to play freaking into the next world. Cherby thinks he's still 25 and can still run back like a 19-year-old. It's so frustrating watching this team because you see good moments and then there's brain freezes from the back end. But I'll go with a 2-1 Lazio win tomorrow. It's going to be a frustrating, ugly win. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's the
so. All right, so let me get predictions from our Roma guys as well. Karlo, I'll start with you. Your prediction for this derby, and it's a home derby for Lazio. I mean, same stadium, but home season ticket holders for Lazio. What do you think goes down in this one?
Yeah, I think both teams are obviously going to be fired up. I don't think Mourinho has to do too much to fire these guys up. But I actually think the opposite. I think Roma are gonna have to disrupt Lazio's midfield. I don't think they're gonna wait for a counterattack and go. I think you got to put that pressure on Lazio's back line. I think by really mudding up that midfield, kind of like Milan did with I want to say it was Kessie, but he was just taking them completely out of their flow, right? Like he was being aggressive and everything. We need that from our guys, and what that does is isolate Immobile. He puts him on an island, and Immobile needs service. So once you do that, you're good. You're attacking their defense head on, right? As for predictions, oh man, I hate predicting because Serie A has been crazy. I thought Spezia was going to be Juve the other day, so or today actually.
Yeah, today.
Yeah. Predictions. I think it goes 3-1. I don't know which way. I think it'll be a tight 1-1 affair, and then I think things will happen very quickly. So I'll go 3-1. I don't want to say it. I don't want to jinx it. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm with you. I think this derby is gonna be crazy for Roma fans. I think guys are gonna be pumped up. It feels like a new era is here. So we'll see. Guys are really gonna be down for that game.
Speaking of not wanting to jinx stuff, I don't know if you noticed this last night, Jerry, but we got, when we had our show last night, which was kind of reevaluating our Serie A prediction, Scudetto winner and the likes. And, we ended up getting into these, like so many different conversations and everybody was speaking up. I never ended up making my prediction. And I'm kind of happy that I didn't officially make my prediction because I don't want to jinx anything, so I'll just leave it at that. So I'm glad at the end of it I did not make my my prediction because before the season started, my prediction was Juve for the Scudetto. I've obviously I've had to reevaluate that a little bit. But I'm glad I didn't end up making my prediction. But I love putting you guys on the spot. So Steve, I'll go to you next, man. How do you think this game is going to play out tomorrow? And who do you see coming out on? Or no, sorry, the game this weekend, Sunday. How do you see that playing out?
Yeah, I expect goals on Sunday because both teams have been scoring a bunch so far, and both teams have been conceding the last few matches. So I'm expecting 4 or 5 goals combined. I'll go 3-2 Roma. That's what I predicted earlier today. So I'm going to stick with it. It could easily go the other way. It could easily end in a 2-2 draw, something like that as well. But I was listening to Jerry talking about Lazio pushing high with their defense and trying to dink the ball around and play that Saudi ball. And if they do that against Roma, they could be in for trouble because Roma is dangerous in the counterattack. That's probably where they're the most dangerous right now because between Abraham, Zaniolo, Vertu, probably Mkhitaryan on the left, and Pellegrini distributing, and Cristante playing, those balls over the top, they can really do damage, especially if Acerbi pushes up high because, like Jerry said, he's not a very pacey center back. I don't even know who's going to partner him at this point, but Lucas Leiva is another defensive midfielder who's not very pacey. So if it's like those kind of guys pushing high, Roma can get in behind, and we've seen them do damage this year on the counterattack. So I think that's Roma's key to scoring goals and maybe running out to like a 3-2 win. But I think Karlo also made a good point. The midfield's going to be important because SMS and Luis Alberto are the two guys that worry me because Roma doesn't have a true defensive mid, someone quite as physical as like Kessié. So, we're going to have to see if Cristante can fill that role. He's not a true defensive mid. We all know that, but he fills whatever role Roma needs him to fill, and he's always a willing participant in whatever manner Roma need him to fill. So it'll be interesting to see if they can, cut off that service from Alberto and SMS to Ciro. I think that'll be key for Roma as well, because sometimes the Roma backline can, they can find cracks. Teams can find cracks in it. We're not sure who's playing left back at this point because Vigna's out against Amar. So if it's Calafiori, that's a little worrying, not because I don't believe in his potential, but he's 19. He's a Roman. He could easily get overwhelmed by the circumstances. Yeah. I even mentioned earlier on our podcast a couple days ago when we were talking about the derby, I'm curious to see how Pellegrini responds because he's been on fire and he's Roma's key man right now. But like we've seen with Totti, we've seen with De Rossi, we've seen with other Romans on both sides, that the moment can be so big in a derby where you're pressing so hard to impress and get the victory for your side because you're a fan in the moment too. You're not just a player there. That Totti and De Rossi at times had to be pulled from derbies because they just got too into the match and kind of lost their head a little bit and lost sight of the match. And I want to see if Pellegrini, now that he's the captain, now that he's really coming into his own as a player, can take the moment and run with it and not be overwhelmed by it. Because if he does that, then I think he establishes himself as one of the top midfielders in Serie A right now based on the way he's playing.
So last thing I wanted to make sure we got to in this episode is just, your personal history watching this derby and this rivalry. And Steven, I'll start with you, man. What does the Rome derby mean to you? Do you have a favorite memory or 2 or 3 that comes from this fixture?
Yeah, I mean, the derby is always a fun one. My best friend, Nick, who was my best man at my wedding, he's a Lazio fan. He's the one that really got me into Calcio, but he roots for the wrong team. So there's always a little bit of a personal thing with it too. I could always banter Jerry a little bit too, but as a Romanista, you can't like Lazio. And if I have to think back to a favorite couple matches, certainly the Totti selfie match was a big one. He scored those 2 goals to salvage that match for Roma. I remember one early in my days as a Romanista, like the late 2000s, when Mirko Vucinic, I think, scored a brace to beat Lazio. I think that might have even been the match where Totti got pulled or didn't start or something. So like those kind of exciting matches always stand out. Some of the derbies don't go your way, like we saw early last season, and those hurt a lot when you just get run over. But it's always fun and it's always exciting because the players always want it. It's always intense. And I'm hoping we have another one on Sunday where we can look back and say one way or another it was an exciting match.
Karlo, what about you? What really stands out from this matchup?
What stands out for this matchup? Well, I think Jose Mourinho's first time in the derby. I think that'll be huge. I think there was a comment earlier. He does really well in these kinds of games, in this environment. He's going to fire everybody up. The team's going to be fired up. I can't wait. Like I said, I don't want to predict because I feel like every time I predict something, I'm wrong. So I'm just gonna
predict like a 4-0
out.
Lazio win.
Yeah, 4-0 Lazio. Yeah, as far as a moment, I love the Totti selfie moment. Like there was, I forgot what year that was. I think I was in high school, and I just remember coming home early from school. I was skipping school to watch the game, and man, I loved it. It just hit me at the right time. You know what I mean, in life, and that's probably my favorite moment. I can't wait.
What about you, Jerry? Favorite moments from this rivalry?
Favorite moment. We're going to go back to May 2013, and I'm going to rub it really good because we've only won the only derby that really matters, and it's the Coppa Italia final. And Senna Lulic, 71. That's all that matters.
Ooh.
When he gets that pass from prime Antonio Candreva. And
oh, my guy.
Prime. He was prime, man. I watched that game in that replay. I didn't know how good Lulic really was. My God, he had to be the best left wing back, and it's crazy in the last decade. And it's crazy is that he's not even a natural left foot player. He plays with his right, and they converted him to the left. Like it's insane. Yeah, that'd probably be my most favorite. And Cataldi, I think a couple of seasons ago, being a homegrown player, scoring against in the 3-0 win. That was that was actually a significant game for Felipe Caicedo, where he went through a lot with Roma, so with Lazio, and not probably being wanted after the first season, and probably similar situation to Vedat Murici, but when he scored that goal, it kind of earned the respect of the fans, and like especially that we benched Immobile that game. I think he came off the bench to play, and they started with Caicedo and Correa, and I think someone picked up an injury midway through, or they subbed him off Caicedo for Immobile. It was one of those two situations, but just to not have Immobile start and Inzaghi to start him on the bench and Caicedo to start the game, and in the first 15 minutes scores the first was pretty significant. So those are kind of like some moments that kind of stand out to me that come to my mind. But yeah, every derby is a little different. Who knows what's going to be Sunday? But I think the most important thing, though, this derby has fans back in the stadium. I think there's what's supposed to be 33,000 for Lazio, and there's 10,000 for Roma that are all sold out already. So, Jerry, you want some circle pasta? If circle pasta is never gonna escape me, that's all I know. I'm gonna be haunted by circle pastas for the rest of my life. If the Lazio wins, yeah, sure, deliver me some circle pasta. But
It's Jerry on Twitter. It felt like middle school yesterday, and who knows? Probably some of the people tweeting about it are probably middle schoolers, which is kind of sad. Like, so sometimes I feel so weird, like a 37-year-old man like me arguing with 16-year-olds on Calcio Twitter. It's like I have no fucking life when that happens, man. But the circle pasta thing was that was a lot of drama, and how it got turned on Jerry. I don't know how that he wasn't the one who said it. He wasn't really the one who made fun of the guy who said it, but it somehow got flipped on Jerry.
Yeah, it's the verified. It's the check, man.
It's all, yeah, exactly. It's so BS, man. I talked about it yesterday on the pod. I think I'll stick to Roma versus Lazio today because I really went in depth, and I was really mad about it yesterday. I haven't even slept for 2 days. These stupid things get into my head, and it's so dumb because I let the nonsense affect me, and I shouldn't. But I guess it's because I don't want that kind of false reputation. But it is what it is. But yeah, in regards to the Lazio game, I agree with Steven that if Alberto and Savic are non-existent in this game, it can be a very bad game. That is very true, and of the two players, I think Savic is more important than Alberto because Alberto hasn't been himself this season. Savic has. And he just is so dominant in that midfield that he can control all aspects. And especially what Sarri wants. He's like the only player on this team who kind of understands what is expected of him and can transition to like a new manager very quickly. Doesn't complain, shows up to camp on time, which Alberto didn't, which is really a factor in his game and why it's hurt him a lot and why he's still trying to catch up into the system. But like, sorry, it's just his box to box kind of play. And they, like you said, they don't have a Frank Kessié, Roma. So that can really be an issue, that they don't have a kind of guy who can shut down Savic. And that's why Milan was so effective against Lazio, because they had Kessié. And when I watched that midfield battle, Savic was non-existent. Now, Tonali / Brahim Diaz, whoever it was, I think it's Tonali, he was good against Alberto, but I think a contributing factor of why it's so easy to defend Alberto is because he's so bad in a 4-3-3, where he doesn't have time on the ball. He's not good at making quick passes. He doesn't have that pace, that speed, that movement. If anybody watches him play in a 3-5-2, watch how long he holds the ball to make a pass. But because the way the system is, he has so much space to hold the ball for such a long time. It allows him to make those through ball passes. It allows him to make those long passes. It gives him time to scan the area. In Sarri ball, that's where Savic is much more effective, because if you watch him pass under Sarri, he doesn't look. He just makes the pass. He knows where you're going to be. He anticipates that you're going to be in that position. Alberto doesn't anticipate that. And anytime there's like three guys closing down on him because they know that he's a weakness now. So I think the game all really, at the end of the day, revolves around Savic on Sunday. And I remember the last derby that Roma Lazio had, Savic was non-existent in that game. He got destroyed with the header. No, that was the game before, actually. Never mind. Or game prior. But just wasn't the same player that game, and they just couldn't get anything going. But we'll see. And I agree. Immobile needs service. He really does need service. What do you think about Toma Basic, my countryman? I love him. I actually think he's a good player, and I think Sarri's doing this right. You got to. I've actually watched a lot of Ligue 1, and I got to see one or two games this season of Bordeaux with Toma Basic, and he's very calm. I think that he suits Sarri perfectly because he makes those short passes. He makes those one giving goal passes where you make those one touches, and he doesn't hold on to the ball long. I think that his read for the game is really good. He's very attack-minded, so he's not scared to go upfield and kind of commit when he has to. But from the small sample size that I've seen and reading about him as well, he has some good numbers and a good track record. So again, if Sarri wanted this guy, and I also consider the fact that there are like 3 or 4 teams interested in Basic, kind of tells you that there must be something there that Lazio kind of got. So
as a fellow Croatian, I can tell you that kid is good. That kid is good. I'm mad that Roma didn't look at that. Maybe they did. I don't know. I didn't hear about it. But that kid is gonna be a good player, man. I really believe that.
I see that already, man. I think they're doing it right because players need time. Maybe that's what they should have done with Murici, transitioning from the Turkish league to the Italian league and slowly easing him in. But I don't know. But well, what would it be like? Hold on. Lastly, what would it be like if Murici scored on Sunday? Could that just change? Hold on. Could that just put Murici back on the map? Like that one goal just makes him a legend because he scored in a derby. Like not a legend, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like the fans will respect him more. I'm just curious. Like scoring in a derby means everything to anyone. You know what I mean? All your faults go down. All your faults that you've done for a year goes in the drain, man. Like think about it. I don't know who sucks on freaking Roma. Santon.
No, last year, Pedro was horrible towards the end of the year, and then he scores in the derby, and everyone's like, "Oh, Pedro!" Like,
yeah,
he was
there
so
you go.
bad.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like that, you know?
Yeah, man. And telling you, people forget all the bad with one good moment. And like,
Yeah, especially
Marici,
in a derby for sure.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna call Marici goal for Sunday. Yeah, I'm calling him Marici goal. I don't know. I just got this vision now. I just feel it, man. I don't know, but it's gonna be Luis Felipe playing beside a Cherby, Steven. That's who it's gonna be. Another liability. Man who's made of glass, but this time the glass can't save his life because he hasn't been good. But yeah, it's good. Thanks for that feedback on Toma Basic, because I actually did an interview with somebody about him, which I have to release, and I wrote a piece about him. And this guy's he's got something behind him. Like I think the most important thing about Basic is that he's never really rushed to get to that next level. He's really been patient in his game and being at Bordeaux, and I forgot where he came from before Bordeaux, but he's played with somebody else before prior to that, and like he's really taking his time and understanding that his game was never at that level yet. So, and he knows that going from the French league to the Italian league is much more tactical and a big adjustment. So, Alex's internet connection is so bad tonight. It's not even funny. Oh, he's back again. It's like a drunk guy.
I don't know what's going on. Like I've switched from like, not only does my Wi-Fi in my house suck tonight, I was like using the 5G hotspot from my iPad. That sucks ass too today, which is weird. So dude, it's like an alien invasion or something. Like somebody fucking the 5G, somebody's interfering with my Wi-Fi. So there's something weird going on here in my house.
Yeah, I wanna ask you guys something actually. Zaniolo, how would you use him in the next two games? Because I'll give my honest, quick opinion, because I'd rather hear you guys, but you guys have to say more than me. I think that he should be coming off the bench, and I'll keep it like that. He should be starting off the bench 20 minutes max, because he's nowhere near back to where he should be yet.
Steve, take it.
I mean, I've been hearing a lot of that on Roma Twitter, on our message boards and things like that, people proposing that. I wouldn't mind it tomorrow as much, because I don't necessarily think he has to play 3 matches in a row from the start, coming off the injury. But I do think he is going to start tomorrow, because I think Mourinho is looking for that consistency. But I think in the derby, I would start him, because even though he's not the Zaniolo pre-injury at this point, because he's still building back up, I think he still has that potential to unlock the match if he, is playing on the break, like Roma could potentially be playing on the break against Lazio. And, Carlos Perez is a decent player, but I don't think he brings as much to the table in a big match like that. And I think on the counterattack, Zaniolo's a little more deadly because of the way he's such a strong dribbler of the ball, whereas maybe tomorrow against Udinese, a team that's going to pack it in a little bit more, and Roma might be controlling more of the possession. Maybe Carlos Perez is a little bit better in the tight spaces and things like that. And then you can have Zaniolo as the impact sub maybe. But Sunday, I would start him.
Yeah.
Marco?
What do you think, Karlo?
Absolutely. I agree.
Sorry, Karlo.
Maybe you don't start him tomorrow. I agree with that. Give him a little bit of a break, but end the game with him 20 minutes, get his legs under him. But I think for the derby, you definitely start him. He has that presence. He has that impact on the game, and it just keeps the defense honest. Zaniolo's coming down that wing. All of a sudden, you're like, oh man, he has the ball, and people collapse on him. Other things start happening. Where he's right. Tomorrow, the defense will be way more set up, and I think it favors maybe Charles Perez or whoever to be on that. But yeah, I think Zaniolo, everyone just needs to take time. He's young. He's going through 2 crazy injuries, but he looks fine. It's just you can see mentally he's hesitant to make some runs, right? I don't think he's not the same player or anything by any stretch of the imagination, but I just think he's mentally. You see him on the wings. The old Zaniolo would have chased that ball all the way down to the corner flag and body people, but that's going to take time, and obviously he doesn't want to hurt himself again this early into the season, especially. But definitely versus Lazio, you start him, and that's a big game. And hey, if you want to be a big time player for Roma, you start that game.
No, absolutely. I just don't think they've been managing him up until this moment properly. I don't know why this guy's starting all these games. To begin, I would say that by the time it got to Sunday, that's when you start putting it in for 90 minutes, say you're 70 minutes. But when just coming back from an injury and already starting off the hop, it's like it's dangerous. Like you're playing with fire. I agree with what you guys are both saying. You do start him on Sunday. You do take him off the bench tomorrow. But prior to that, though, there hasn't been a significant match for Roma to say, hey, we should be starting Zaniolo. You know what I mean? Like, God forbid something had happened to him. You know, I personally don't. I personally think you ease a player back in. That 7 games allows him to get into that rhythm, to get that form. And I don't care if he plays for Roma. Like, as much as this is a Lazio Roma pod, like for me, you really got to like you got to look at the long term. And I look at Italy as well. Like that player can never play for his country as well. So there's a lot of multiple effects here. So if Sarri is willing to gamble on Akpa and Murici to start tomorrow, Roma are going to be in a whole lot of trouble. Yeah, I'm wishing that Murici started. I'm on the Murici train because I really think that this is a system that suits him much more than Immobile, just because he'll get the service of getting those crosses in, big body presence, who can win physical battles. But Akpa, no, I don't want him in the midfield tomorrow. No. But I don't want to see him, period. But I guess, you know what, he works hard, but at the end of the day, I can't disrespect him because if Sarri sees something in him and he calls him on, then he must have something that is there to help the system, because he gives Raul Morrow, an 18-year-old, a try. No, you weren't joking. But, like, I like Murici. Again, like I said, I'm not going to write him off. I think that he needs to get a fair chance. You need to play 7 games in a row, 8 games in a row to see what you're at. Akpro, I don't know what he offers, but here's the last thing I'll say, and this is what concerns me too about some decision making. You're tied 2-2 in a game. You got Luis Alberto on the pitch. You sub him off and you bring on Akpro. I'll never understand the logic behind that. You're not down. You're not up 2-1 trying to close a victory. You're trying to win a game when you're controlling possession and creating chances. Luis Alberto should never, ever come off. Like, that's... And if you're going to take him off, the reason why you brought Toma Basic in is to get that goal as well. Like, that's the guy who comes on for Alberto. Like, never should it be Akpa for Alberto. Akpa comes on for Savage, because it's kind of similar the way he tries to play to Savage. So I don't know, man, but like I just sometimes I don't like criticizing managers, but you sometimes question is like what's the logic to certain decisions? Like what is your thinking about that? I did like that they brought in Raul Morrow in place of Felipe Anderson in that last 4 minutes. I think that bringing on an 18-year-old can really boost a player's confidence because you're putting them in a key moment in a big situation. So I think that was pretty significant for him, and he kind of composed himself very well. So see what happens. And again, barring who knows what happens tomorrow, any injuries, suspensions. So knock on wood for anybody, but that's another walk in the pan. But hey. Will Immobile score tomorrow, Jerry? Yes, he's scoring tomorrow. Yes, he is. He's scoring tomorrow.
Rub it in Cairo's face.
He's scoring tomorrow. Yes, that's why. That is exactly why. I feel even if they lose tomorrow, he's going to score. Like, it's just one of those moments where Immobile just shows up and says, hey, I got one in my bag. And look, and Steve, look how Immobile scored on Sunday. Why can't Italy fucking cross a ball like that to him?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, doesn't anybody watch how Immobile plays? In a 4-3-3, look how he played. He goes into that corner. He makes the run. No one ever crosses a ball like that to him. It always goes down the wing, throw the ball down the wing, dump it into the air, thinking he's freaking Michael Jordan. He can freaking leap in the air. Like, come on, man. Like, every ball that he gets is either like outside, but it's a good cross. Like Savage did that last year too against Benevento. Same shot, same pass. Immobile makes the run inside the box, in between the defense, and bang, he heads it home. Like it's frustrating because when you really watch how Lazio plays and how they use him, it's nowhere near to what Italy does with Immobile. It's like all the good players are trying to pass around and they don't want to like give him the ball because there's just too many stars on the team. On Lazio, he is the guy.
That's a great point.
He is the star. So Lazio is always thinking we got to give the ball to Immobile. No one like there's no Barella saying I'm going to take the ball. There's no Jorginho who says I'm going to take the ball. There's no Chiesa that says I'm going to run down the right wing, or Insigne saying I'm going to go down the left wing. These guys don't think we need to get to Immobile to the ball. Like it doesn't work like that. Where on your national like your team it's different. But Carl, do you think Tammy Heaven will score tomorrow? There you go.
What do you think, Karlo?
Again, predictions. I don't want to make. I hope he does. I think it would be amazing going into a game on Sunday. I think Tammy will be fired up as well. I hope so, man. I hope so. I don't think anyone played well last game other than Pellegrini and Rui. So and Eldor Shomurodov, I expect to make an impact in some of these games as well. So we'll see.
Has he been playing Shomurodov?
Yeah. He started last game versus Hellas, but we just didn't gel. To be honest with you, it didn't happen for him.
Hey, but before we wrap it up, I want to give everybody a chance to promote social media handles. Anything you're go.
Just a quick guy. You don't have to like. Do you think Eldor was a good signing, or do you think this is another signing that Roma just threw a lot of money away? I'm curious from both of you guys, like, because Roma's got a bad history of making. Oh, actually, I'm not gonna banter them because Lazio's on that freaking. They're going down that train too, man. Like it's bad, man. It's really bad. But it's bad. Eldor, like, do you think
I think he fits well. I think, I was a little skeptical of the signing for around 20 million when it was made. But from what I've seen so far, I've been pretty impressed. He had only played half a season in Serie A with Genoa, and I didn't really see him play much. He mostly came off the bench, but he got hot toward the end of last season, which said he was getting more comfortable. And so far, he's made a couple really nice assists. He scored a couple goals. He's a perfect impact sub, I think, which is what he's done a lot of this year. He did start on the left wing last match and placed Mkhitaryan because he was out. Didn't gel as well, like Carlos said. But the whole team kind of was out of whack a little bit. And I also think it kind of hurt him that he was playing the left wing with Calafiori, who's an inexperienced player. He wasn't playing with Vigna or Spinazzola, someone who's going to play those 1-2s a little bit more with him, overlap a little bit more because Calafiori played a little bit more conservatively. But I think Shomurodov is a good fit for this Mourinho system. He's a guy Mourinho likes. He's got the work rate, and he's showing a nose for goal and a nose for assist a little more than I expected too.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I just wanted to touch on that. I didn't know he was that good of a playmaker, to be honest with you. His assist, his movement. Roma are getting all these Jekos that can actually run, like fast. These tall guys, fast playmaking guys. As far as Roma's history, I think this is a new time. I think Thiago Pinto's in charge as well, and Freakins. I think all that stuff is in the past. I won't even mention his name. He ruined a couple years of our club with some bad signing.
God. Yeah, terrible.
But unfortunately, that's the stigma you have for a couple years, right? As a club. But yeah, I think he's a great signing, man. And it was also a weird time because you thought Dzeko was staying, and then Dzeko leaves, and then you didn't know what was going to happen. You get Tammy, but I think, hey, you put him on. If Tammy gets tired, I'm good with that too.
Listen, I appreciate everybody hopping in and everybody watching as well. Borna, Biggie, Daniel Caro, thank you so much. Our guy Johnny is always a staple on these shows. We appreciate everybody. I think I saw the Calcio guys account dropped in earlier as well, and Cliff Cliff, who's a great dude. He used to be. Now he's complimenting me. Usually Cliff is complimenting Jerry's skincare routine. So maybe he thinks Jerry dropped the ball there a little bit. But I want to give our guests a chance to plug anything you guys are working on, social media handles. Karlo, we'll start with you, man. Where can people find you?
Right here on Twitter, ASR6MA, AS Roma 6. I am just promoting Roma in Canada, promoting Serie A. I feel like we get shafted here in Canada with all these videos and rights and stuff, just trying to promote each other. Yeah, it's ridiculous. There's so many great fans. You don't have to be a Roma fan to follow me and vice versa. You know, I'm here. That's how I met Jerry with the banter. The banter's always fun. You know, we keep it light. We keep it light over there. So that's what we're trying to do.
Beautiful. And Steve, of course, you're working overtime, man. It was a pleasure. I got to submit you some words about Inter earlier this week before the Fiorentina match. I was really, really thrilled to be able to do that. I understand Jerry's working on something for you as well before this match. Let people know where they can find you and your awesome site.
Yeah, so ChiesaDiTotti.com. We have our podcast across the Romaverse on all the major platforms, iTunes and all that. We'll have plenty of coverage leading up to the Derby, post-Derby. We'll have a post-Derby podcast episode. I have Jerry doing a Q&A to pick his brain a little bit about Lazio and inform our readers a little bit of a Lazio perspective. And, yeah, I mean, we're busy this week because 2 matches pretty much every week for the past few weeks. So lots of match day coverage coming out on our site.
Jerry, what about you? You working on anything this week? Where can people find you outside of this great platform, of course, that we're doing?
Well, you can find the zone on a word I have right there. It has 3 shiny letters, and go for it. There's one that I don't remember. I think it's. I can't say it on the show. I don't want to. But basically, that's the option if you're looking, Borna. That's the way you get the zone back. There's football TV in Toronto. It's okay. I've always had it, but I think the zone was better. It had better announcers, just quality and everything. But you can find me at jmancini8. What am I writing right now? I did a piece on Felipe Anderson just an hour ago. I just released a piece on David Luiz actually today for the Lazio and why it was a missed opportunity for them. They should have signed him. I think that was a massive piss. But I'll always stand by that. People tell me he's old and aged. Guys need a reality check. The guy can still run. But anyways, I don't want to start getting off topic. That's what I have going right now, and hopefully the zone comes back in a couple of years. That's all.
Will be nice. You guys can find me on this channel, of course, and I would encourage you to please spread the word about this channel. Like Daniel, you said so many nice things. Everybody who's popped in has been really complimentary. It's been wonderful watching our work grow, and like this is very much a hobby for us. Like we don't have big money investors behind the Calcio connection. We don't have fancy logos. My graphic design skills are less than shit. So we just produce content. Like we're on YouTube. We have audio podcasts. We just like to chat with the fans, and the fact that we've been able to build an audience, it's been really been a lot of fun. So just encourage everyone, if they're into Italian soccer, they're into Calcio, tell them to watch these shows. We stream live on YouTube. They can check out the podcasted episodes as well and help grow our channel. We want to get to 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We're about a quarter of the way there. We have like 260 YouTube subscribers, so 1,000 would be a nice milestone for us. So please help us get that. I also run a Patreon page for the channel. Since I run it, it's mostly Inter content. But if you guys are Inter supporters, you can make donations there. It helps the entire channel because we have to pay for streaming. We have to pay for the streaming services that we use. We have to pay for storage space on all this stuff. So it's not free running a podcast network. So the Patreon helps with that. And we also give you exclusive content through there. So you can check out Calcio Connection, the patreon.com/Calcio Connection for more information on that. And I also do a daily show on the 5 Reasons Sports Network YouTube page, 5reasonsports.com, talking primarily South Florida sports. So that'll do it for us. Huge thanks to Jerry. Huge thanks to Steven. Huge thanks to Karlo. It was wonderful meeting you. And everyone, enjoy the game coming up this weekend and enjoy all of your games tomorrow. It's a busy few days coming up. We will talk to everyone next time on another episode of the Calcio Connection podcast. Ciao.
Cliff, your shit. Stink, Cliff. Stink, Cliff.